welcome to City Limits, the show that provides you with information about the people, places, and events that shape the character of our community. My name is Norm McCourt, and I'm host of City Limits. Joining me tonight is Barney Bartsikowski,
right? You got it, yes.
And she is the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri, correct?
Yes, correct. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
I think we did a show earlier this year when you were, I guess on...
Just getting started in August, yeah, so time flies.
Time flies, and it's cookie time now.
It is cookie time.
So that, everybody looks forward to that.
Everybody does. It is an exciting time. We look forward to it every year. I will say for me, it's all the behind the scenes stuff that I get most excited about, because the cookie program is actually the largest girl-led business in the world. So when you think of our girls participating in that, that's pretty exciting. So behind the scenes, we have so much stuff going on right now, because what people don't realize sometimes is some of the things that our girls are learning when they participate in the cookie program.
Yeah. How many, each year I think they have they have one featured cookie maybe, or whatever. How many cookies do you have this year?
Well, this year's kind of exciting because I will say all of our favorites are back, because Little Brownie Baker was the baker that the Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri used for more than 20 years. And then this year they're back. So I know we're already hearing in the community, people are happy that the Do-si-dos and the Samoas and the shortbread, all of everybody's favorites are back. And of course the Thin Mint, which is the all-time favorite. So we have 8 different varieties, and they're out and they're available starting next week at Cookie Booths.
Well, I actually had some Thin Mints that I actually ate the box of Thin Mints around Christmas time, and it was in there from the year before. So I get enough Thin Mints and freeze them.
Frozen, yes, they're so good frozen.
They're real good cold.
Yes, yes.
Can people still buy Girl Scout cookies if they want to?
Absolutely. Starting in January is the individual cookie sale time, so girls are out taking their pre-orders. But the booths actually just get started next week. On February 26th, we have more than 1,800 booths that are scheduled, and they'll be all across our region. So people will be able to go out, and they're in front of our area, Dierbergs and Schnucks and Walmart, and a lot of our local businesses support the Girl Scouts by allowing girls to have booths at their businesses. So hardware stores, beauty salons, convenience stores, anywhere you look, you're going to find a cookie booth.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that happened. Randy and I actually were coming out of a local hardware store, and the Girl Scouts had a booth set up, and they were selling candy at the time. And I said to this one, I said, "Boy, those are really good." She says, "Well, why don't you buy some?" So I ended up buying some more candy.
I'm telling you, they're good salespeople. They're learning some amazing skills while they're doing that.
Yeah.
So.
What? Tell me a little bit about the history of the Girl Scouts, if you can.
Oh,
when
absolutely.
Did they start?
Back in 1912 is when the Girl Scouts first got started. And nationwide, we have 112 Girl Scout councils. So we're one of 112. And we're actually one of the top 10 by size of our council. So when they started back then, that kind of tells you how much we've evolved. The very first badge that a girl could earn being a Girl Scout back in 1914 was she earned a badge when she learned how to wrangle in a stray-away horse. And I find that so interesting, because I say if we didn't evolve as an organization, I'm not so sure people would think that was current today. So today our girls are earning entrepreneurship badges, they learn web design badges. So it's come a long way in the last 100 years.
Yeah. You'd almost think that would be the 4-H club when you talk about
wrangling in the horse, exactly.
Yeah. I guess I was in the Boy Scouts, of course, and they had one called horsemanship, so I guess that was kind of
It's fun to go back and see how that's all evolved, see what was current for the time, what was providing a skill and a need for the girls, and really to have watched how those have changed over the years. So we've been around for 102 years and still ticking strong. So I think that there's a place that we fill a void where nothing else does.
Okay. What, this is a question I was thinking about since the last time we talked. The Boy Scouts now have girls as part of the Boy Scouts of the Explorer program. Does the Girl Scouts have boys as part of their program?
The programs that we offer are still girl programs, especially the ones that come in through our troops. Now, when we go out and do some of our community programs, which is our community outreach, like our PAVE program, which I hope we have an opportunity to talk a little bit about, but that's for girls and boys. But our members, they're girls.
They're all girls.
They're all girls.
All girls, okay. What is the main theme of what the Girl Scouts try to prepare girls for?
Now, our mission is building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. And you know what, when you really let that sink in, it really guides us on what we do every day. So, I look at our girls, and really what our mission is when we carry out a mission statement is taking today's girls and giving them the opportunities to help develop them to be our leaders of tomorrow. And when I say leaders, I always remind people it's whether they're leading in their home or their school or their community or government, but we are providing them with those skills to help them become that leader.
Okay, so it's life learning skills, basically.
Absolutely.
Is what is a cookie food truck?
A cookie food truck.
Somebody
Yes.
asked me that.
Yes, so next week starts the Cookie Boost, like I said, and it starts February 26th, and they run all the way through March 16th. So at all of your local areas, you're going to see the booth. But the cookie truck has really become a phenomenon. Well, the food truck has become a phenomenon in St. Louis area. You know, people love these food trucks that are out there. Well, we found a local woman who owns a food truck, and it's green. And so she's going to partner with us to allow our girls to run that food truck and make it a cookie food truck for 2 different Saturdays at 2 different locations. It's a pilot this year, but I know our girls are going to be so excited, and we'll hope that it'll grow in the future years.
Are you going to advertise where
Yes.
she's going to be so
Yes.
people
So people will know where to
people
go.
know where it's
Yeah.
at? 'Cause you're right. Food trucks have become a phenomenon
They
around here.
have, and so it just seemed appropriate. Since there's a green one available, let's make it into a cookie food truck.
Kind of like the 21st century, where they used to have the booths on the street, with the little carts and stuff in the city.
Right,
So
yeah.
kind of the updated version of that. What are some of the other programs that the Girl Scouts offer?
You know, the most common one that people are familiar with is the troop program, where girls come into Girl Scouts through that traditional troop, where they have that woman leader, the troop leader or male, who is their leader and co-leader, and really helps guide them through the whole year with activities and programs, earning badges. That's the traditional way, and 70% of our girls really participate through that troop experience. But we also take our programs out into the community. I mean, many times we have young girls who don't have an opportunity to really participate in Girl Scouts. So we take our programs out into community centers and schools. This year we're really excited because one of our pilot programs is being done right here in the Hazelwood School Districts. So back in late 90s, what we discovered is that 55% of girls in Missouri will at one point miss school because they don't feel safe. And that's across Missouri. And it really stemmed down to bullying. So one of the places we could fill a void was really helping girls build that self-confidence and teach them anti-violence, anti-bullying. So the Girl Scouts created a program called PAVE, Project Anti-Violence Education. And we take that program into schools, and since the year 2000, we've delivered that program to more than 300,000 girls and boys. So we took it one step further this year, and our PAVE program, we wanted to start getting our high school students involved. So we love acronyms. It's called TOUGH, Transform Your Future. We go into the high school and we train our high school students to actually deliver the anti-violence programs into the elementary schools. So we have 3 elementary schools in the Hazelwood School District, 4 of the middle schools, and 1 of the high schools that are participating this year in the pilot program. So it's pretty exciting, and the results have been really amazing.
Sounds neat. Now, what type of program is it? Do you teach the skills necessary to do that, or do you teach jujitsu and stuff like that?
We
they
teach
can
a
protect
combination. To
themselves?
the high school students, we're teaching them the curriculum of the anti-violence program, but they're also learning presentation skills, collaboration skills. You know, they're learning a lot of leadership skills so they can go in and deliver the program in the elementary school. The elementary kids are actually receiving the anti-violence program then that's delivered by the high school students. So research has shown that whole peer to near, to them I look ancient. So when they're learning this from a high school students, they're looking at it as being a lot more relevant and making sense. So these high school students get that opportunity to go in and deliver the programs into the elementary school. And the original goal was what it would do for these elementary kids. But what we're finding out from these transformers, our high school students, is they're coming back saying to us, I realize now that I am that role model for these younger kids, and they really look up to me. So our high school students by far are getting as much out of the program, if not more, than the younger kids.
That's good. And you say this is being piloted here?
It's piloted in 8 school districts, and Hazelwood is one of the 8. And now we have school districts on the waiting list that really want it. And we don't want to spread our resources too thin. So this year we'll finish up in the 8 pilot, and then it'll expand next year into other school districts. It's a time when schools are looking at the accreditation and what they need to do and making sure that kids are doing well on standardized tests. And that all makes sense. But at the same time then, what about these social skills for these kids? So for us, because we have had strong community support for this program, we're able to actually deliver the program at no cost to the school district. So there's a lot of community support about wanting these programs in the schools and wanting kids to really learn about how to identify violence, how to identify cyberbullying, just bullying in general, and then what to do about it.
That's great. Now what about does the Girl Scouts still have a camping program?
We
or
do.
whatever?
We actually have 3 camps. We have very large camps. So we have Camp Tuckahoe, which is in Troy, Missouri, and we have Fiddle Creek, which is in Gray Summit, and then we have Cedar Ledge, which is in Peevely. So our largest camps are about 700 acres. So we have 2 large camps and then 1 smaller one. And year-round, we have troop camping at all 3 camp sites, and then during the summer we have resident camp programs at Tuckahoe and Cedar Ledge. So, to me, I love our camp programs. I was just looking at our camp book that just came out, and I'm looking at it's online. It's it's just so to see how things have advanced just in the last couple of years. But we have programs that the girls still get to do the traditional canoeing and horseback riding and archery. But then we've added what they've been asking for. We have a Lindenwood Lions dance camp where they can come and learn and dance. We have a kitchen chemistry camp where they learn about why does the last pancake you make always taste the best. And then we have programs like Junior Vet where they learn what does it mean to be a veterinarian. And Nestle Purina Pet Care has helped us with this program. So a lot of new exciting programs for the resident camp.
Sounds good. Why does the last pancake taste the best?
I know. I want to take that camp.
Why
in the heading for that camp, it says, "Why does the last pancake always taste the best? And what's the difference between baking powder and baking soda?" And I'm reading this, going, "I want to go to this camp." So I just need to be like 12 again.
Yeah, I remember when I was a teenager. Cedar Ledge that camp has been there for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now, do they actually camp out, or do they stay in cabins, or is it a combination?
It's a combination. We have everything from, matter of fact, there's a camp called Camping Under the Stars, where literally they are sleeping under the stars, to where we also have the lodges as well. So there's really just about anything you could want, and both on the troop camping and for the resident camp.
Oh, good. And what are these programs? 1 week, 2 weeks?
They vary. We have anything from a 2 or 3 day program all the way up to where we have girls that come for 3 weeks. So it's a real variety because there's different needs out there for what people are looking for.
Mm-hmm. And I assume there's a lot of sports and stuff.
Yeah, there's one that's actually called the Sports Sampler this year, where they come and do all types of water sports. So I keep saying, I want to be a kid again.
Yeah, it sounds like a real good thing. We were talking earlier about badges and so on. How many different Girl Scout badges do they have?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. And we have the combination, and it kind of, to help people differ, we have patches and we have our badges. Okay. And patches are when girls are participating in something. So they'll attend something and they get a patch for participating. A badge is where they actually go through the whole process of all the steps that they need to achieve to then really have accomplished and receive the badge. So our badges are done by Girl Scouts of the USA, our national organization, and then girls can kind of choose and decide which ones do I want to strive to earn. I recently ran into an adult, she's an attorney today, and we got talking about Girl Scouts, and she said, "All right, I got to tell you, Girl Scouts is where I learned to start and complete a project." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "In life, that's what everything is." She said, "Every badge I learned, it was a start, follow the steps, celebrate the completion." And she said, "I apply that in everything that I do." So I think our badges are a great way that girls learn not only to earn that badge, but the steps it takes to do it.
Yeah. And do they have different, in the Boy Scouts, they got like Star, Life, Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
What do they have in the Girl
different.
Scouts?
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, we have things like the entrepreneurship. Who would have ever guessed 20 years ago that there would be those type of badges available? But they've evolved over time. So there's different ones, and some of them are STEM related badges, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Some are outdoor, so they are in different groupings, and girls can look and see what they want to work towards.
Is there anything that's analogous to like the Eagle Scout
Absolutely.
rank?
We have our
What do you
Gold
call that?
Award. Yeah,
Gold
our
Award?
Gold Award. And our Gold Award for our girls is a year-long project that they take on, and it's an individual award. They earn it on their own, and it has to be sustainable. So it has to be able to continue on, whatever project they've chosen, it has to continue on long after they're not involved with it. So for me, I love sitting back and watching some of these Gold Award projects. We had a young lady who last year, her Gold Award project was, she had a grandfather who said, I hate to think that people are going to start to lose sight of what it was to be in a war. So she went to the different VA locations and talked to veterans, and she videotaped them, and she's created a whole program for schools so they can hear straight from a veteran what it was like to be in a war. And so I look at these girls and I marvel at why they choose it, what they do to get there, and then what the end result is.
Amazing.
Oh, it is.
What, as you become a Girl Scout, I think they start earlier in that. What are the various levels that they go through? I mean, like, you know, in Scouts you got Webelos and Boy Scouts and
Right.
Eagle, or and Explorer Scouts and so on. What do they have
For
the
girls, we start as young as kindergarten, and then we have our daisies and brownies, and then juniors, cadets, seniors, and ambassadors. So they can go really from the age of 5, 6, all the way up till 18. And then for us, it's about keeping those 18-year-olds when they really graduate from Girl Scouts to be our alum and to keep them involved, to come back and really be that peer leader to our younger girls.
Okay. Now, the cookie program, is that the whole range of Girl Scouts or
Yes.
just certain
That's
levels?
the behind scenes part that I probably love the most, is because most adults, when they talk about what Girl Scouts did for them, they never share an experience that they don't bring in the cookie program. And it's because there's really 5 fundamental skills that the girls are learning. They learn goal setting, decision making, money management, business ethics, and people skills. And they learn it at every age level, but they're learning it in a different way. And a couple weeks ago, when the individual sales were going on, I had a young brownie that approached me, and she said, Mrs. Barchikowski, would you like to buy some cookies? I have a goal to sell 150 boxes because my troop is going to do a community project, and I'd really like for you to help support us. And I'll bring the cookies to you sometime the first week of March. And I just kind of marveled when I walked away. I thought she actually demonstrated all 5 skills right there, speaking to me. She had set her goal setting. She was going to sell 150 boxes. Decision making, her troop had decided they were going to do a service project. Money management, they knew what it was going to take to financially fund this project. Business ethics, she said to me, I will deliver your cookies the first week of March. And I'm like, say what you mean what you say, do what you say you're going to do. That's business ethics. And then the whole people skills, which to me is probably my favorite part. Here's this young girl articulating to me what she's going to do, and I'm watching her build her people skills, thinking, how amazing at this age that she's already giving me this mini presentation on what she hopes to achieve. So I stand behind the scenes and I watch what these girls are learning, and I realize they're having so much fun, they don't even realize what they're learning, but they will later on.
Oh, great. When we talk about, I always get back to the cookies. So
Oh,
that's the most important thing you see when you talk about Girl Scouts. Do they have the cookie sales throughout the country at the same time, or do they do different geographic? Because that's an awful lot of cookies.
The councils choose. So there are some Girl Scout councils that do the cookie program in the fall. We do ours in the winter, starting in January. On January 10th was our Cookie Go Day, and it runs all the way through March 26th. But it does vary by council, what time of the year that they offer the program. So.
Okay. Now, how many? You mentioned there's different councils in different regions. Does it say how many are in Missouri? There's 2,
There's 3.
3?
There's 3 councils, yes.
Okay, the west side. I think
Yeah, there's
we
the
talked about this
Kansas
one time
City, the
before.
Springfield, and then we have the St. Louis. And we cover eastern Missouri, so we cover all the way from Putnam County down to Reynolds County. So we have 28 counties in the city of St. Louis. We have about 46,000 girls that are Girl Scouts, and then we have about 17,000 adult volunteers that participate within our region.
Oh, my God. How many troops do you have in that?
We have, this past year, we'll have probably in troops, so about 70% of that 46,000 are girls that participate through a troop. So they can still register for their troops throughout this year. So we still have those that are registering now that come into the program after the new year. But it will vary. I think last year we were at like 7,000 troops, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a girl wants to become a Girl Scout and does not live in an area where there's a troop or, she can't get to a troop, can she still become a Girl Scout?
Absolutely. We have individual girls. We also have the girls who we can help place them into a troop. And then through our outreach programs, when we go into schools and deliver programs, they receive a handout that tells them about all the other ways that they can participate. So whether it's through camp or some of our STEM programs, our robotics program, we provide them a list of how they can stay engaged in Girl Scouts.
Okay. So you're available to everyone, which is
Exactly,
great.
yes.
I mean, that's a good
And
idea.
our website is such a great place for people to go. So if you have a young girl, we just had a family that moved to St. Louis, and through our website, their daughter had always been in Girl Scouts. So they immediately connected through us through the website to say, please help us connect her into a troop. And we're able to do that then. We have community people that are actually assigned by district so that they can reach back out to this family and say, let me help your daughter get into an existing troop.
Good. You mentioned earlier that you try after they get out of the program or get old enough that they're out of the program that they come back. How many, do you have a lot of them that continue
We do have a lot of alum
participating?
that come back. We have an alumni group. I mean, we have a woman, I'll just mention, that's in one of our alumni groups. She's 92 years old. And she's been a part of Girl Scouts her whole life. And I love it because recently when I saw her, she said, you know, Bonnie, I might be 92, but I still have some good volunteer blood. What do you need me to do? And I'm like, this is amazing. I hope I'm doing that at 92. But we do have many of our girls that, you know, go off to college and come back, and whether it's a day that they spend with one of our day or resident camp programs, or they come be a mentor at one of our older girl programs, you know, for us, it's about keeping them involved and coming back and being a part of our other girls' lives.
Mm-hmm. Now, as we talk about that, when you talk about Boy Scouts and so on, a lot of times participating in a Boy Scout program and being a Life Scout or an Eagle Scout or whatever is kind of a selling point when you look for to go to a college.
Right.
Is this happen also with the Girl Scouts?
It is. We have many girls. Actually, I was just talking to one of our young seniors the other day, and she had been in Girl Scouts when she was in elementary school, kindergarten through about 3rd, 4th grade. And then she had other things come up and she wasn't involved in Girl Scouts. And she came back at the end of 8th grade. And she said part of the reason she came back is because she goes, I wanted to get back into the social, the giving back to the community, doing the service hours. Because she said, I knew that that would be really good when I went off to college to not only have that on my resume, but when I did college interviews. And Girl Scouts was a safe place for her to come back and participate that way. So when they're filling out these college applications, for these girls to be able to list, yes, I'm in Girl Scouts, and yes, I do all these service projects, that's important for them to do. And, and there's a lot of older girl opportunities for them. This next week, we have our biggest fundraising event, and 2 of our girls will get $5,000 scholarships to go on to college. And to me, they emanate what we were talking about with Girl Scouts. They're the results of the program. So.
That's great. Now, what is your fundraising event? What
It's
do you do?
Dessert First is the name. How appropriate is that?
Yeah,
you know,
hey.
But this is our 3rd year of doing the fundraising event and our largest annual fundraiser. So it's exactly what it says. It's held at the Ritz-Carlton next Thursday night. We'll have almost 500 people in attendance. But we have Dessert First. So local chefs will create desserts, and they each have to have a Girl Scout cookie as one of the ingredients in the dessert. And then our guests will get to vote on their favorite. And we also have some celebrities that come and they choose we have the People's Choice Award, and then we have the Celebrity Judges Award. And so when the program part of the night begins, we actually make that award to the winning chef. And then as the evening goes on, we're able to celebrate our 2 girls that will receive scholarships that night. And then we have a Corporate Legacy Builder Award. This year it's Ameren, Missouri. And then we also have an Individual Legacy Award. And this year it goes to Elsie St. Cyr, who was a woman who really dedicated her life to Girl Scouts. And she has since passed away, but her daughter's coming back into town to receive the award on her behalf. So it's a great evening, and it's really to help fund all that we do. It is, you know, it's the critical need that we have to get the funds to do the programs that we have.
And it's a definite benefit to, you know, a lot of people, so that's really good.
Yes.
Well, as we begin to wrap up here, how did you get involved in Girl Scouts?
I was actually on the board of directors, and it was local. It was a person from here in North County that said to me, "Oh, Bonnie, you know, you've worked with women, you've worked with young girls. What about coming and serving on the Girl Scout board?" And I thought, you know what, I can do that. I was actually just rotating off the Greater North County Chamber board, and I thought, okay, I'm rolling off of one board, good timing. So I went on their board of directors, and I immediately became passionate about looking at these young women and really thinking the difference that we make in their lives. And so I was on the board for a year, and then an opportunity came, and I applied for it. I thought I would love to come work for this organization. So I came in 2 years ago as their chief operating officer. and then since August as the CEO. So.
Good. Well, that's a good story. I always ask everybody, and I asked you last time, and I actually forgot where you said you went to high school.
Hazelwood
St. Louis
Central.
thing. Hazelwood
Proud to
Central.
say Hazelwood Central.
Hey.
I attribute everything back to the counselor who was there at that time. I know he's passed since, but I still remember his name. It was Mr. Harrington, and my sister and I always want to go back and find him because somehow he must have seen something in us, because he was the one who really pushed my sister and I both to consider going to college. And I always want to go back and say, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. Where did you go to college?
Lindenwood.
Lindenwood? Okay, right here in St. Louis?
Right here, yes, yeah, great school.
That's good. As we wrap up now, can you tell me a success story from someone that you've worked with in Girl Scouts? Just any kind of success story.
Any kind of success story?
Yeah.
Actually,
Program.
recently there was a woman, this is an old, so I guess you can always look at our girls, but then I also look at the women. We had a woman that I came in contact with, and she had been involved with Girl Scouts for years, and then had fallen a little bit away just because her life got busy, and she and I just connected, and I was sharing with her where we're evolving as an organization. She said, I got a great story to tell you, Bonnie. She is in financial investment. And she said, my sister tells me that I'm as successful as I am because when we did the Girl Scout cookie program, we would go out together. We were both Girl Scouts. And her sister would always push her to the front door to go, you ask, you ask. And she said, I think I became so open with people and the ability to speak and engage with them because of the cookie program. And I'm like, what a great story. And she's a successful woman. I mean, I'm proud of her, and I just think how great that she attributes where she is back to Girl Scouts.
Well, that's certainly a good success story.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Bonnie.
Thanks for
interview
having
tonight.
me.
We'll have to do this again next year when the
Sounds great.
program
Cookie
comes
time
up.
again.
Cookie time again.
Sounds good.
Thank you for watching our show this evening. If you have any questions, you can contact me at www.cityofblackjack.com or call me at area code 314-355-0400. And we'll put up a promo on the webpage that you can contact Bonnie if you need to. Thank you for watching. Good evening.